Choosing only 10 plays feels almost impossible because the NFL has delivered more than a century of moments powered by chaos, brilliance, and destiny. These plays aren't just clips that live in old broadcasts. They're the turning points that defined eras, shattered expectations, and created legends. They're the plays kids still recreate in backyards, the moments players dream about when nobody's watching, and the reasons stadiums shake with emotion every Sunday. As slow-motion shots of iconic arenas and roaring fans fade in, the energy rises, setting the tone for a countdown built on pure football magic. This isn't just a list. It's a tribute to why the NFL remains the greatest show on earth. And with that, the clock resets, the lights dim, and the anticipation climbs. Countdown SFX hits, and we dive straight into the first moment that changed everything. Number 10. At number 10, we open the countdown with a moment that still feels unreal every time it's replayed. The Minneapolis Miracle. With the Vikings trailing and just a single second left on the clock, Case Keenum dropped back and launched a desperate sideline throw towards Stefon Diggs. What happened next didn't just stun the stadium, it shook the entire football world. Diggs caught the ball, turned upfield, and found nothing but open space as the crowd erupted in a roar that felt like it could lift the stadium off the ground. It wasn't just a game-winning touchdown. It was the kind of football magic that kids reenact in backyards and fans talk about for decades. A play created from hope, disbelief, and destiny all colliding at once. And with that explosive start, we drop into the countdown and move toward the next legendary moment. Number 9.
At number 9 comes a moment that didn't even end in a completion, yet still rewrote what we thought a quarterback could physically do. In Super Bowl LV, Patrick Mahomes found himself being chased, hit, twisted, and pulled to the ground. But instead of surrendering to gravity, he turned chaos into art. Fully horizontal, body parallel to the turf like he'd been frozen in midair, he launched a 30-yard dart that somehow hit his receiver right in the face mask. The pass fell incomplete, but the message didn't. This was pure, raw talent on display, a superhuman flash of instinct and muscle memory that only Mahomes could deliver. It wasn't a touchdown, it wasn't a game winner, yet it instantly became a legend, a reminder that greatness isn't always measured by the scoreboard, but by the impossible moments that make you question reality. At number 8 comes a moment etched into NFL history for its chaos, controversy, and pure disbelief: the Music City Miracle. It was January 1999, the Titans down by 1 with only seconds left, a season on the edge of extinction. The crowd held its breath as Lorenzo Neal caught the kickoff, handed it to Frank Wycheck, and Wycheck, in a move debated for decades, launched a cross-field lateral toward Kevin Dyson. Suddenly, the stadium erupted. Dyson sprinted up the sideline with nothing but daylight and destiny ahead of him. Bills players chased, fans screamed, coaches froze, and in a flash, Dyson crossed the end zone, delivering one of the most shocking finishes the league had ever seen. Titans fans called it a miracle. Bills fans still call it pain, but everyone else calls it what it truly was: the NFL at its absolute wildest.
At number 7, we arrive at a moment that didn't just stun football fans, it reshaped the very idea of what an athlete could do. Odell Beckham Jr.'s legendary one-handed catch in 2014 wasn't simply a highlight, it was a cultural earthquake. Dropping back toward the end zone, fully extended with a defender hanging on him, OBJ reached behind his head and plucked the ball out of the air using nothing but 3 fingertips. The stadium froze, the internet erupted, and the play instantly became a symbol of pure, unfiltered athletic genius. It wasn't luck. It wasn't chance. It was precision, body control, and swagger meeting in a single impossible moment. This catch didn't just earn a spot on the all-time list, it inspired a generation of kids to try the impossible. Number 6 brings us one of the most stunning football moments ever captured on camera. A play so iconic, it broke out of college football and became part of NFL highlight culture forever. With 1 second left in the 2013 Iron Bowl, Alabama lined up for a long field goal attempt to win the game. The stadium held its breath. The kick sailed and fell short. But that's where the miracle began. Chris Davis caught the ball deep in the end zone and started sprinting. One blocker, then another. Suddenly, an entire wall formed in front of him. The roar grew louder with every step as Davis raced down the sideline, untouched, for 109 unbelievable yards. The crowd erupted, Alabama froze, and Auburn delivered one of the greatest walk-off shocks in football history. This wasn't just a return, it was a thunderbolt that shook the entire sport.
Marshawn Lynch's Beast Quake run stands as one of the most violent, iconic, and flat-out unbelievable moments in football history. In a playoff game where the underdog Seahawks were fighting for every inch, Lynch took the handoff and turned it into a statement. He bulldozed through the first defender, stiff-armed another into the earth's crust, bounced off bodies like he was carved from steel, and kept churning as the crowd's roar grew louder and louder. By the time he broke into the open field, tossing the final Saints defender aside like lightweight debris, the stadium wasn't just erupting, it was literally shaking. Seismic sensors in Seattle picked up the vibrations from the fans' eruption, forever cementing the moment as the Beast Quake. It wasn't just a run, it was power, defiance, and history in motion. A play so wild it felt mythical the instant it happened. The fourth spot belongs to a play that felt less like football and more like destiny rewriting itself in real time. Super Bowl XL 42. The Giants down late. The Patriots one defensive stop away from completing the greatest undefeated season since the '72 Dolphins. And then, chaos. Eli Manning, swallowed by a collapsing pocket, somehow breaks free from what looked like a guaranteed sack. He stumbles, resets, and launches a desperate heave downfield. And waiting under that prayer is David Tyree, a receiver known more for special teams than heroics. What happens next is pure magic. Tyree pins the ball against his helmet, battling a defender, gravity, and impossibility itself. It wasn't just a catch. It was a miracle that shattered New England's perfect season and carved Tyree's name into NFL eternity. A reminder that on the biggest stage, legends are born in the most unlikely ways.
3. In the modern NFL, few quarterbacks have captured the drama of the Hail Mary quite like Aaron Rodgers. Not once, not twice, but 3 times he delivered passes that seemed to defy physics and fate alike. Against the Lions, the Cardinals, and the Giants, Rodgers launched moonshot throws that hung in the air long enough to suspend disbelief, only to fall perfectly into the hands of waiting receivers. Each pass was more than a statistical completion. It was a statement, a demonstration of precision under pressure, timing, and sheer audacity. Fans held their breath as the spirals arced across stadiums, defenders leaped, and the impossible unfolded before their eyes. These weren't flukes. They were calculated risks executed flawlessly, cementing Rodgers' reputation as a clutch performer who could rewrite games in a single throw. The Hail Mary trilogy didn't just win contests, it defined Rodgers as one of the most consistently spectacular quarterbacks in NFL history, a man capable of turning desperation into artistry. 2. Few plays in NFL history carry the weight, mystery, and sheer legend of the Immaculate Reception. On that fateful night in 1972, the Pittsburgh Steelers faced a do-or-die moment, trailing with mere seconds left on the clock. Terry Bradshaw's pass, deflected at the line, arced unpredictably through the air, leaving fans and players alike frozen in suspense. Franco Harris, showing instinct, grace, and timing beyond comprehension, scooped the ball before it touched the ground, sprinting into the end zone and cementing a moment that would echo for decades. Was it a deflection off the intended receiver or the defender? Historians and fans still debate the details, but the magic of the play transcends rules and arguments. It wasn't just a touchdown. It was a collision of fate, skill, and audacity. The Immaculate Reception stands as a symbol of possibility. The idea that in football, as in life, miracles can happen when preparation meets opportunity, forever etching Franco Harris's name into the mythology of the NFL.
1.
In the pantheon of NFL history, few moments shine as brightly as Roger Staubach's legendary Hail Mary pass in 1975. Trailing with seconds left, Staubach dropped back, scanned the field, and in a desperate act of faith, threw a deep ball to Drew Pearson. "I closed my eyes and said a Hail Mary," he later recalled, and in that instant, a term was born, forever linking the phrase with hope, desperation, and the impossible made real. The pass wasn't just a completion, it was a declaration that miracles could happen on the football field, that one play could rewrite the narrative of a game, a season, and even a career. Fans erupted, teammates embraced, and the sport itself gained a legend that would be repeated, studied, and mythologized for generations. This Hail Mary didn't just win a game, it cemented the idea that football is more than statistics and strategy. It's theater, suspense, and moments where destiny meets human will. Roger Staubach's pass remains the blueprint, the ultimate symbol of hope under pressure, and the crowning moment of NFL drama. And there you have it, our countdown of the top 10 greatest NFL plays of all time. Moments that thrilled fans, defined careers, and left a permanent mark on the sport. From the miracle of Staubach to the raw power of Marshawn Lynch's beast Quake. From Franco Harris's immaculate reception to Odell Beckham Jr.'s gravity-defying fingertip catch. These plays capture everything that makes football unforgettable. Drama, skill, and the impossible made real. But now the conversation moves to you. Which plays belong at the top of your personal list? Did we honor the ones that made you jump out of your seat? Or did we miss a moment that still lives in your memory? Drop your choices in the comments and let your voice be heard. Don't forget to hit subscribe and stay tuned for next week's episode, The Greatest Game-Winning Drives Ever. Because in football, legends aren't just remembered for stats. They're immortalized in moments, and every fan has a story of their own unforgettable play.